While the world rushes headfirst into an electric future, one voice just slammed the brakes, and it's not some random YouTube mechanic. It's the CEO of Honda. In a quiet but seismic leak, Honda's top executive just revealed something that could flip the entire EV industry on its head. We're talking about a brand new engine one that blends clean performance with unmatched affordability and real-world convenience. And if what we've heard is even halfway true, Tesla and every EV giant should be paying close attention. So, what exactly is this engine? Why is it so dangerous to the EV boom? Inside Honda's revolutionary engine technology, what's so special? When most people hear the words hybrid engine, their minds go straight to the old school Prius. Quiet, efficient, boring. But what Honda's CEO just leaked isn't anything like that. This isn't your neighbor's mild-mannered hybrid. What we're looking at here might just be the most ambitious counterpunch the EV industry has faced in the past 20 years. So, what's so special about this new engine? Why are some insiders already calling it a potential EV killer? To answer that, we need to step under the hood because the real story isn't just about fuel, it's about freedom. Honda's new hybrid engine tech doesn't rely on the same heavy, expensive battery banks that keep EV prices high and charging times long. Instead, they've doubled down on an ultra-efficient internal combustion engine, turbocharged, meticulously refined, and paired it with a next-gen electric motor system that works with it, not against it. This isn't a halfway point between gas and electric. It's something more like a best of both worlds system, without the compromises that make many hybrids feel like an awkward middle ground. Now here's the part that really makes this leak matter. Honda isn't chasing gimmicks or luxury headlines. They're aiming directly at the global market, especially the fast-growing economies where reliable electricity isn't guaranteed and charging infrastructure barely exists. Think Southeast Asia, Africa, and South America. In those regions, a fully electric car isn't just impractical, it's often impossible. But a vehicle powered by this engine, that's a game changer. Because it doesn't depend on charging stations or rare earth minerals, and it's built to run clean, smooth, and efficiently in places where tough conditions are the norm. The numbers. This new hybrid setup delivers a fuel economy that rivals full EVs without any of the range anxiety. Early estimates suggest over 50 miles per gallon under real-world driving conditions. At the same time, emissions are being slashed to levels nearly on par with fully electric cars, thanks to Honda's low-temperature combustion system and electric motor assist during urban driving. The gasoline engine only kicks in when it's actually needed, and when it does, it's powerful. And don't mistake this for some underpowered commuter car. Honda's engineers have been obsessing over balance, torque, acceleration, and even the driving feel. The result is a powertrain that's sporty when you want it to be and calm when you need it. A lot of this comes down to how the engine and motor communicate in real time, distributing power with precision instead of relying on a fixed pattern. But that's just the performance side. What's really shocking and what has EV manufacturers sweating is the cost. Because Honda has spent decades refining internal combustion technology, it already has the factories, the trained workforce, and the supply chains in place. Scaling this hybrid system globally doesn't require rare metals, fragile supply chains, or entirely new infrastructure. It can be rolled out now at prices far below even the cheapest EVs. Why it matters. If you're in your 20s or 30s, working hard, saving for your first car, and stuck between overpriced EVs and outdated gas guzzlers, this engine changes everything. Suddenly, eco-friendly and affordable don't have to live in different worlds. And you don't need to worry if your local grid goes down or if the fast charger at the corner station is offline again. Honda's CEO didn't just drop specs. This leak was deliberate. It was a signal, a flex. He wanted the world to know that while the rest of the auto industry was busy playing battery games and chasing headlines, Honda was quietly building something steady, practical, and unstoppable in the background. Something that speaks more to the real world than to Silicon Valley showroom. And this tech isn't just good for the environment it's built to last. We're talking about engines that can take a beating, run on lower octane fuel, survive bumpy roads, and still deliver high efficiency. It's green, yes, but it's also tough. And in a world where climate consciousness and practical utility rarely meet, that balance is incredibly rare. Honda's bold strategy against the EV monopoly. When Honda's CEO stood before reporters and quietly unveiled plans for a new generation of hybrid technology, The industry didn't laugh, they listened, because this wasn't a fringe idea or a throwback to the early 2000s. This was a clear, calculated move against what some have called the EV monopoly, a kind of electric lockdown where your only green choice is a car tied to the grid, packed with lithium and priced like a luxury item. But Honda? They're playing a very different game. Let's go back to the company's official press event in May 2025. The headline was about hybrid engines, yes, but what was buried just beneath the surface was far more revealing. Honda's president and CEO, Toshihiro Maebe, made it clear. The future isn't binary. It's not EVs or combustion. It's about options. It's about building a flexible, resilient transport system that works globally, not just in wealthy cities with charger access on every corner. And that's the key word here, globally. Because while a Tesla might fit perfectly on the streets of Los Angeles or Munich, it's still a fantasy in rural India, West Africa, or parts of Southeast Asia. But a hybrid that can deliver over 50 miles per gallon, costs less than a basic EV, and runs reliably without charges, that's revolutionary. Maebe didn't say it with drama, but the implications were massive. He explained that Honda's next phase won't be a sudden U-turn. It'll be a careful, layered rollout. First, the new hybrid engines will appear in high-efficiency premium cars models that test the market, refine the technology, and prove just how far hybrids have evolved. After that, the company plans to trickle the technology down into compact cars, family vehicles, scooters, and even three-wheeler taxis in developing regions. And that's smart, because you can't force a new ecosystem overnight. You have to meet people where they are, give them something practical, something durable, something they already understand, and then build upward from there. That brings us to the real kicker, the economics. Unlike pure electric vehicles that rely on expensive battery packs, rare earth minerals, and vulnerable supply chains, Honda's system is built on decades of existing combustion expertise, manufacturing, and logistics. So here's the big question. If you had to choose between a sleek, silent EV that costs a small fortune and locks you into a fragile charging grid, or a rugged, affordable hybrid that performs just as cleanly without all the baggage, what would you choose? Because for millions of people worldwide, that's no longer a hypothetical. It's becoming a real, tangible choice. And if this engine scales the way Honda plans, it won't just change what people drive, it'll completely shift who gets to participate in the green revolution. No more gatekeeping clean transportation behind luxury brands and 40 zero price tags. This is the democratization of clean driving. And that's why the EV industry should be very, very worried.